What's up, everybody? Giancarlo here with Bad Beats. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded on this channel. My life has been rather hectic ever since Miami. Um, I don't know what to say about it. This video, before I get into the black stuff, quick channel update, a couple things I want to talk about. I commentated in Miami. That was absolutely amazing. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to David, PR Sign. Shout out to Cam, Espira, George, everyone who was there. Thanks for coming out to the tournament, and it was a great event, man. I had such a good time commentating, seeing everybody I haven't seen in like a year. If you guys like, I got a lot of great feedback about my commentary. It seemed like a lot of people liked it. Very glad that you guys enjoyed it because I enjoyed doing it. That being said, I'm going to be doing it again at some other tournaments that I'll get into. After Miami, a lot of people don't know I'm in the Army Reserves. I had a FTX, a field exercise, where I was out in the woods for like 4 days. That was not as fun, but it was still pretty cool. You kind of have to take it as it goes. Sometimes it's pretty cool just sleep out under the stars, and we got to shoot a lot of guns. So, hey, it is what it is. It was pretty fun for what it was. I started streaming on my own channel. Obviously, Bad Beats still going to be making content on this channel. It's just a little bit more convenient for me to stream on my personal YouTube channel. I'll have a link to that. I don't have a stream schedule up or anything. I'm going to kind of start working on that. Other than that, man, yeah, we'll get into this gamerz 6K. I just wanted to give a shout out to them real quick. It is going to be, let's see, it's going to be May 8th. May 9th. It's a 6K, so it's actually going to be bigger than the prize pool is going to be bigger than the Miami 5K, hosted by Team FOE. I'm actually going to be commentating that event as well. I'm very excited about that. I'm not done as a player. I played in the regional last week. I got top 32. Not amazing. I'm going to do better tomorrow. Today's Friday. Let's see. We got a regional tomorrow. We got a new One Piece chapter today. After I record this video, I'm about to take my dog to the lake. I'm in a great mood. I'm ready to start making a little bit more content, ramping that back up. So again, shout out to gamerz in Cocoa, Florida. Hopefully you guys can join us for that. It's going to be a really fun event. And let's get into the actual video where Supeme Kai of Time. This leader is really cool. This isn't really going to be like a deck profile. It's going to be more of an overview of the archetype. And I didn't want to make like a first impression review. I'm not like a huge fan of those types of videos. However, now that every card is out and I've gotten a few games of playtesting done, I'm going to kind of talk about the archetype, give my general examples, my general opinions. I'm probably going to be rambling a lot in this video. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. So let's get into the deck, my thoughts about it, and just some other general Dragon Ball topics, right? So leader on the front kind of sucks. When this card attacks, burst 3, draw 1. That's a fine effect. She's kind of vanilla. You want to awaken generally as quick as possible. And the cool thing is that she actually has a better awaken than Dark Broly, right? So when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 8 or more cards in your warp, that's something you're going to have on turn 2 generally every game. You draw 2 cards, you flip until you add cards from your life until you have 6. So you're guaranteed to awaken at a minimum of 6 life. And then her backside, she has a ton of effects. When you play a card using Overwhelm, draw a card, then place up to 3 black battle cards back into your warp. So first off, she has a similar to Dark Broly, right? Where you draw on the front side of the attack, you awaken drawing 2 more cards, and then your draw on the backside is not related to your attack. So you're getting 4 card draw. The turn you awaken, you're getting 4 cards in hand. Pretty strong. For 1 energy, you can discard a card and play the Demigra Unison, which we'll get into. That's the only target. You play it with a marker on it. That Unison is very, very powerful, which is going to basically enable you to push into your mid to late game strategies. And then once per turn, you can crit a life, place up to 2 black battle cards from your warp into your drop. And any card you played using Overwhelm this turn is not sent to the warp. There's a bit of questions about how this card is going to be ruled. Do you have to play the cards after you use her effect? Does her effect just work at the end of the turn? We're going to have to wait until the FAQ comes out from Bandai. But, I've seen certain judges talk about it, how it's going to be ruled different ways. I'm not really worried about it. When we get the FAQ, it's pretty much going to be clarified to work in the best way. Basically, I think anytime you use this effect, it's going to check at the end of the turn, meaning no matter what time you play the Overwhelm, um, no matter what time you played the Overwhelm during the turn, it'll be safe at the end of the turn. That's how I think it's intended to work. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I guess we'll see. So starting with the Migra Momentary Ally, this card is nuts. Once per turn, burst 1. If your leader is a black Saiyan only or a God only card, when you play a battle card using Overwhelm, this card gains Wormhole. If you don't remember what Wormhole does, it says you can play Overwhelm or Dark Overwhelm twice in one turn. So instead of Overwhelm, you can only do it once a turn. Now you can play 2 Overwhelm cards in a turn. Overwhelm cards are very, very strong for very little mana. This card is freaking nuts. It also works in in Black Saiyan only decks. So the one that comes to mind is SS4 Goku from set 10. That's like my little fun leader that I like to play. This card's going to fit in there pretty well. And then I guess it also works in Gogeta, but I don't think you would play it in SS4 Gogeta from, it's Super Saiyan Gogeta from set 12. I don't really think you'd play it in that deck, but it does work in Saiyan only leaders, Black Saiyan only. So, oh yeah, it also works in like Kid Ku, right? Random stuff, like there's different leaders that probably aren't going to play it, but it's going to be something you're going to keep in your back pocket. +1, place up to 2 black battle cards from your warp to your drop area. So use your leaders once per turn. That's 3. Burst 1, 4. +1, you're going to have 6. It puts 6 black battle cards, it puts 6 cards into your drop, which means your warp is always going to be live. Your 6 Overwhelm 6. And then -3, add 2 black battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less, and Overwhelm, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You're not going to use that -3 hardly ever. You're probably just going to be hitting that +1, and you're going to be using that auto. This card's nuts, man. I love this card a lot. So far, the Kai leader kind of reminds me of Dark Broly Light. Certain aspects of the deck are better. Certain aspects of the deck are worse. So really, depending on the ban list and depending on where Dark Broly kind of stands, I think we're going to see a large migration of Dark Broly players to this Supeme Kai of Time. We also have the Makekabura leader from this set, which I'm not really covering. I do think that leader has a lot of potential. I haven't really touched it at all, so that's why I'm not making a video on it yet, but very strong. So again, your leader awakens when you have 6 cards in your Overwhelm. So the way you're going to facilitate that as quick as possible, there's a few different ways. I think the best ways are Vegeta, Revived Ravager Vegeta, or Majin Buu's Human Extinction Attack. Vegeta being a more aggressive option. Overwhelm 3, crit. When you Overwhelm it, you mill 3. So 3 from your leader, 3 from Vegeta, and then 3 from your leader on the next turn. You're going to be able to awaken. And then Majin Buu's Extinction Attack is 3 from your leader, 4 from Majin Buu, and then Majin Buu's itself counts as the 8th card. Then you Overwhelm for something, then you can awaken with your leader. Whether you play it defensively or offensively, whether you go first or second, it doesn't really matter. I don't think you want to awaken on your very first attacking turn. You might want to wait just to get a little bit more mill and a little bit more value. But anyway, these are both just fine options. There is a Goten and a Trunks from the set that also help facilitate the Overwhelm. I kind of brush past those. I don't think they're as good, so I don't really talk about them too much. But these are all just good choices. You're probably just going to be playing like 4 and 4 of this Vegeta and this Majin Buu. Why wouldn't you? Not only are they just good cards for black decks, they help facilitate your Awaken, which is you want to turbo Awaken in this leader because your backside is just so much stronger than your front side. Here we're getting into some of the new Overwhelm options. The 2 on top are from the set. The 2 bottom ones are promos. And this is really why the deck reminds me of Dark Broly Light. These cards kind of function in a very similar way to Dark Broly, with your leader critting a life and keeping Overwhelms on the board. All these cards kind of remind me of a Dark Broly counterpart. So we have Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire, critical 30k, Overwhelm 6, 1 energy. When this card attacks, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, add up their total energy cost to 4, and send them to your warp. Very, very strong. Again, so this counterpart would be the Dark Broly SR. But this is a card you can run in Dark Broly. Not only is it a 30k Overwhelm card, it has critical. You throw a Champa on this, it's going to be a 40k crit. Your opponent is really not going to be able to out combo 40k crit. And if they do, they're going to have to lose a lot of resources. So this card is absolutely strong. When it attacks, you warp up to 4 costs. So you get 2 drops, some 1 drops, a 4 cost. This completely sweeps Abune off of the board. I know Abune is not super relevant in the meta currently, but hey, this is pretty nice. And then with your leader ability, you keep it on the board. So every turn this card is on the board, you're going to recruit value with it. This is like the best attacker in the deck. I think this card is absolutely phenomenal. We have SS4 Goku, Thwarter of the Dark Empire. Blocker, Overwhelm 6, 1 black energy. Not really a card you can splash in any deck like this Vegeta. Very much meant for this Kai deck. And because it's an Overwhelm with blocker, when this card attacks, draw 1 card at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. So obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would an Overwhelm have blocker? It's just going to leave the board. However, your Kai, again, is going to keep it on the field. And then you get a blocker again. So again, kind of like a Dark Broly, it's a 30k blocker. This card is good. I think it's obviously in this game, defensive cards are slightly less good than offensive cards. So it's not that this card is bad. I don't get excited. Like I get excited when I look at this Vegeta. I don't get excited when I look at this Goku. This card is just a generically good card. SS4 Vegeta, Feigned Greeting, Overwhelm 6, 0 energy, 30k. When this card is played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, sends it to their warp. Again, similar to Dark Broly, I would just straight up say this one sucks. Like, it doesn't do enough. It's a 30k vanilla that makes them warp a card from their hand. I don't think this card does nearly enough. As a promo, I'm not saying this card is bad. Again, like, it just doesn't excite me. I don't think this card does nearly anything enough to warrant playing it over, like, other better Overwhelms. Let's get into this Gogeta. Holy shit. When I read this Vegeta, I said, sweet baby Jesus, this card is good. SS3 Gogeta, Thwarting the Dark Empire. Unique, double strike, 25k attack, Overwhelm 6, 1 black energy, Union Fusion, 1 black energy, a Goku and a Vegeta. You can choose battle cards in your warp, place them in your drop when activating this card's Union skill. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the warp. Holy shit, bro. First of all, you can Overwhelm this and then keep it on the field with your leader's ability. It's a Union Fusion for 1 black. It's not leader lock. You can play this in Vegex. You can play this in Gogeta Xeno. You can play this in any black deck that plays Gokus and Vegetas. We have amazing Goku Xenos. We have amazing Vegeta Xenos. We got 2 30k big dogs right here. But of course, we have the 1 drop from set 12, Son Goku. I'm slipping. What is it? Ready to Fight or something like that? It's the one that makes them warp a card when they activate a counter. I'm slipping. I'm forgetting the name. And then, of course, we have the super combo, the Vegeta super combo. That's just a great card. I don't have any on me. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. But it's like Son Goku Ready to Fight or some shit like that. So again, like this is direct support for like 4 different decks. You could play this in Dark Broly. Pretty iffy on whether you do or not. I'm not too sure. You definitely play it in Vegex. You definitely play it in Gogeta Xeno. You could definitely play it in Kai. This card is absolutely nuts. I love this card. And it gets a winter promo. I really hope that I pull this guy. I do not want to have to pay $60 for each of these promos. I really just hope I pull it out of my promo pack. I'm not going to talk about these generic Overwhelms too much. Obviously, this is an Overwhelm deck. So you can play any good generic Overwhelm. Like Fighting Against Fate. Really good card. Secret Identity, really good card. Demigra is already a dark Overwhelm. I don't really see why you wouldn't play Demigra. I mean, Demigra's like my favorite card right now. So maybe I'm a little biased. You have Bardock the Tenacious. Hey, guys, there's options. You got Wormhole. You can build your deck however you want. I think the strongest version of this deck, you can build this deck like 2 or 3 different ways. I think the strongest version of the deck will be generic good stuff Overwhelm. I want to talk about Trunks Power Over Sync Time a little bit. Overwhelm 2, it's a 20k double strike. Well, Overwhelm 4, 2 energy, 20k double strike. When this card is played using Overwhelm, choose a battle card in your warp and add it to your hand. This card is from set 3. We used to get Shigesh back with this guy. Now what you're going to get is your secret rare, right? Because you're playing a mill deck, you're going to mill your secret rare more than you draw it. Because you mill more than you draw, that's just the way the deck goes. So you can grab your secret rare back with this, and then because you have Wormhole, you can then play Rubel. If you're playing Rubel secret rare, you can play another Overwhelm on top of this. I think this is a card right now. It's like $1. You guys might, if you're watching this video, you might want to go ahead and pick him up because he's a set 3 SR. He's never been reprinted. He's only $1. Go ahead and buy him now before he goes up to like $5 or $6. Maybe, you know, we're seeing Sin Shinron plays this card. The aggro Sin Shinron deck plays it because in case they mill sell Xeno, well, they can just grab it back and they get a double striker. So this card's very good. Like I said, go ahead and pick it up now. I think we're going to see an uptick in play in this card. Talk about the secret rares. You got options. You could play any black secret rare. You're probably going to be playing one of these, right? Rubel is the secret rare from set 13. Ultimate, double strike, dark overwhelm, 8 for 2 energy. Bro, this card's only 2 energy. What the fuck? If this card would be removed from the game, blah, blah, blah. No one cares about that. We got to get into effect. If you have 4 more energy, when this card is played using Dark Overwhelm, play up to 2 battle cards with different names, energy cost of 6 or less, and Overwhelm from your deck, from your, from your Warp. Okay. Think about any Overwhelm card you could ever get 2 of them. Okay, you can get Demigra, broken. You can get Vegeta, SS4 Thwarter of the Dark Empire. Nice. You can get the 30k blocker that draws a card. Or you could just get Fighting Against Fate, a dual attacker. Any Overwhelm at your disposal, you can go ahead and just grab that thing up. Play it. Skills are not negated. You get big attackers for 2 energy. She's a double strike 40k. And then her other effect is choose 1 card in your battle area with the Overwhelm skill. Place it in the drop. When your opponent attacks, negate the attack. Not once per turn. So she's like, for 2 energy, you get enough cards to win the game. If you don't win the game, she can negate up to 2 attacks just based off of her own effect. If you have Overwhelms left over from past turns, you can negate, who knows, 3 or 4 attacks. I think this card is really nuts. It's a huge game ender. It's going to be really hard not to win the game when you play this card. If your opponent has like a Violent Raise or some shit, okay, good for them, but excuse me. Yeah, this girl is nuts. I do think that this is going to be the choice for this deck. Or you could just play Kai. If you have a Kai and you don't want to buy the Rubel, who's probably going to be like $200, or if you don't have a Kai and you buy Rubel because it's going to be cheaper, both of these options are just going to be relatively good for the deck. Kai is good. We know Kai is good. Also, Kai is a lot thicker than Rubel. If that has anything to do with your decision on which one you want to play, that might be a factor. The other way to build this deck is this Gotenks engine. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it. I don't think it's that good. I'm going to brush over it very quickly. If you like the Gotenks engine, if you have a build, feel free to comment, say, hey, I disagree with you because Gotenks is good at XYZ. I just don't think that these cards are anywhere near as good as the generic Overwhelm cards, especially when your Overwhelm cards stay on the board. So it's not that these cards are bad. These cards are actually super mid. It's just that I don't think they're good enough. So I'm honestly just going to brush past it. Okay, well, that was Kai. Now let's get into Dark Broly a little bit. We have the Vindicator, which is a common that is coming out from this set. It's only a common. Dark Broly players, you're not going to have to spend any money. Couple things. He's a generic combo. He's not a 0+0. So that's it's not like a big issue in Dark Broly, but it is an issue. People are wising up. They know to negate the leader swing now. It's harder to win off of other attacks that aren't your leader swing or even a unison. Because this guy is generic combo, it's just easier to push damage with other creatures that aren't just your leader, at least when you're attacking for game. So 6 cost, unique, Overwhelm 6 for 1 energy. Big long effect, right? Once per turn for 1 energy. If your leader card is black, your opponent has 3 or more energy. At the end of the battle in which this card attacked, you cannot play another copy of this card and then choose one. Place up to 6 black battle cards with 30k power from your warp into your drop. Holy shit. So, a big issue that I'm having with Dark Broly in the current meta is that it is really hard to outgrind red decks. Red decks are very good at mitigating aggression, and they have Violent Raise. It's really hard to kill through Violent Raise, but Violent Raise is a neg 2. They have Topo as well. Topo is a neg 1. It's hard to kill through Topo. It's not impossible. It's really hard to kill Launch through a Violent Raise because all you have is small attackers. But before I get too off topic, This card basically lets you play an additional Dark Broly every single turn without losing any cards at the cost of 1 energy, which you're not spending anyway. Generally, after like turns 2 or 3, I find myself not spending that much dark energy. Excuse me, not that much energy in Dark Broly. So at the cost of 1 energy, you're probably not going to spend anyway. You get to play an additional 6-drop, which is going to be huge in the grind game. Now, you might think again, okay, this card has Overwhelm. How does it stay on the board? You can get it with your Parasitic Ball. You can go 1-drop, Parasitic Ball, get the Vindicator, a swing, tap another. It's nice. It stays on the board. You get to use this effect every turn. Just really solid for the deck. You probably only play like 2 or 3 of it, but this is a very solid card. Second ability, choose a Dark Broly card with an energy cost of 7 in your hand or warp, play it on top of this card. There's only one target. We got Unbridled Destruction. Now, Unbridled Destruction, his effect gets to trigger off of this 6-drop. So when you use this effect, you play Unbridled Destruction, his effect triggers, you get... oh, excuse me. It's hard to talk for me sometimes. I start coughing a lot. You get to trigger the 7-drops effect. So they crit a life or they warp a card from their hand, warp a card from their board. So if you do choose to overwhelm it, you can just get the 7-drop and you don't lose this card's value at the end of the turn. Again, this card is absolutely nuts in Dark Broly. Searching your 7-drop has never been an issue because, again, you can grab it with your Parasitic Ball. But that does help you with your Heartfelt play. Having access to this Dark Broly, having more access to it is not going to hurt Heartfelt Plea. Also, this card is not really leader locked. It says if your leader card is black. So you could theoretically play this combo in any deck. Any black leader, you can play this combo, which then allows you access to Heartfelt Plea in other decks that you maybe wouldn't see it in. I don't know if that's a real thing. Again, I haven't played. This card was just revealed this morning. I haven't play tested it. I can tell just by reading it that it's going to be really good in Dark Broly, though. Big fan of this card. It's like support that the deck really needed. I know people don't think that Dark Broly needs support. Dark Broly is one of the best decks in the meta right now, but it is finding it's hard. It's right now it's kind of struggling against Red. Red is at least in my opinion, Red is providing the challenge that Dark Broly did not have before. Decks like King Piccolo and Launch have generally really good matchups against Dark Broly. This card is definitely helping reposition you against those decks. And finally, here's some other decks that are just getting support. SS4 Son Goku, Guardian of History. This is like my little pet leader. I like this leader a lot. He's a lot of fun. I take him to locals. No, he's not that good. He's like a pretty mediocre leader. But he does have Double Strike, and he is a Saiyan only, so he works with this Demigra Momentary Ally. I had a really cool build of him in set 12. I'm going to have a really cool build with him in set 13. Again, just for fun, little local stuff I'm going to do. And then again, Gogeta, we talked about it earlier. It's indirect support for set, set 12 Gogeta. It's indirect support for Vegex. Both of these decks are playing Gokus and Vegetas that easily fuel this Unison Warrior. What the fuck did I just say? Union Fusion. Man, so I get my words confused sometimes. Both of these decks can very easily play this Thwarting the Dark Empire Gogeta. I think they will. There's no reason they won't, right? So it's cool that these, like, as a black player, you have a lot of options. You have any of these Saiyan leaders. You have Dark Broly. You have Kai. You have Makekabura. Probably, maybe I'm forgetting one. You just, as a black player, it's a pretty good time. We're getting a lot of good support. I do plan on playtesting Makekabura over the course of this weekend. Shout out to Juha. He hit me up. We're going to test Makekabura soon. Hopefully, I'll have some videos on the channel about that. If you guys disagree with anything I said, if you guys want to talk more about the list, if you guys have suggestions, hit me up. Post in the comments, hit me up on Facebook. Let's theorycraft. Let's play test. Like I said, I'm going to stream on my other channel. I'm going to be streaming this deck. I'm going to be streaming other decks. Hey, hit me up. You guys want to play? Just let me know, man. Go ahead, comment, whatever. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with the channel even through our long break. We'll be back and running at full capacity here soon. Y'all have a good one.